Stephen, 2-0 down at half-time, it really didn't feel like that type of game, but that's what set the tone.
No, listen, when their team lines came in, I looked at the team and what we believed to be the shape that they were going to play in and the personnel, and it looked like a team that had given us huge respect for how we've been playing. And I think it was evident that they did. But when you play against a team that adopt the tactics that they adopted today, you can't lose the goals that we did. From really there were only 2 attacks. We lost 2 disappointing goals from what I believed was, as I've said throughout the 90 minutes, they're really only opportunities. But on the other hand, we didn't create enough. We didn't manage to create enough, and we've been raving about certain players, but these players didn't quite reach the heights that they have in the past weeks today, and we couldn't break them down, unfortunately. So there was a lack of effort. The players' effort today was as it's always been, but we just lacked the quality in the final third.
It's football, isn't it? A wonderful piece of football. Puts Harry Curdy back bang in the middle of the goal with a chance he misses up the other end, and we've conceded.
Yeah, and you have to score these moments when you're playing against a robust side like Mansfield are. When these moments come, you have to score, and it was important the way they'd set up that we scored first. It wasn't to be, and as I've said, the disappointing factor is that we didn't turn our possession into opportunities. We didn't manage to carve out those moments where I felt that we certainly could.
That first goal, we were waiting for it to be called as a goal kick, but we seem to stand and watch as Rose comes in and smashes it.
Yeah, it was something that we're aware of. It's a strength of theirs, their cross, and Rose is always a danger, so it's disappointing. We'd certainly pointed those aspects out, but we have to defend them at that moment. And obviously the second goal and the timing of it's really disappointing. The ironic thing in football is that they spent all the first half wasting time, and then in the added time period they get the advantage of it, and that's the disappointing factor. But that's still something we have to do better on.
Clear up that it is a new rule that if the referee gets involved in the play, he stops it and we go again. But we should have defended the moment better. Yeah,
because we were in our positions. When it comes from a still ball, we have to defend that moment better than we did. There's no doubt about it. It wasn't a transition. It wasn't where you caught out of shape. It was a moment where it was a straight ball forward, and we have to defend that goal better than we did.
The game management that you've mentioned is not nice to watch, but it's expected from teams like Mansfield. What did you say to the lads about that during the break?
I said to them that we had to not get frustrated by that was the aspect. Some younger players sometimes get frustrated, they lose the focus on what we're trying to do, and it can affect their performance. And that's something that we need to learn from. It was a game where, for me, it's a game that we must win when I see how we go about it with the amount of ball we have. But we'll not win games if we defend the 2 moments like that and we don't carve out enough opportunities that certain possession should have led to.
Even watching you guys go into the tunnel for the break, there's so much to be enthusiastic about. We expected more in terms of an attacking sense in the second half.
Yeah, it wasn't that we weren't attacking. We just couldn't find the final pass or the final moment. Almost the entire second half was spent in their half. But they defended the opportunities that we created very well. They did the job that they came to do, and that's something we need to learn from. That when teams come here, we do need those players that can open you up, and unfortunately, that didn't happen today.
Must be frustrating as a coach, because you've seen it through the games so far that we can create with the likes of Thomas and McCurdy, with the way they go at the defence.
Of course. But if they're not creating, it also means that others have to, and we all have a responsibility to create, and none of us managed to do that today, and that's a disappointing factor. Not the effort, not the application, not the way we went about many things. It was the 2 moments in our own box, and that we didn't create enough in the other box.
Is it part of that learning process that you keep talking about, that we're still a team that's learning what it needs to do?
Yes. But it's also the way they set up for a team that has invested as heavily as they have, I thought was a mark of respect for how we've gone about things. But we still have to win these games.
Sorensen, 35 minutes, good to get that young boy on the pitch.
Yeah, it was good to get him on. We hoped that he could provide us with impact that we wanted. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case, but I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him in the coming weeks.
Your intent was clear to see: Olamola, Loft, Sorensen. You could list the strikers who were on the pitch at the end.
We ended up with 4 strikers on the pitch, and we had to go for it. But again, we just couldn't find that creative moment, and unfortunately, that's why we lost the game.
How do you deal with the dressing room now? Because it's a very quick turnaround to another tough game at Cheltenham.
Well, I told them before this game that you take your eye off the ball for 1 second in this league, and you face losing the game. But we have to prepare again and go to Cheltenham and give a similar type away performance as we gave at Barnsley.
It's before your team's bounce back, but you don't want bounce back, do you? You want consistency.
No, that's a big thing for us, and I said to the group in there, if we have any real aspirations, we have to show that, and we cannot lose 2-0 to Mansfield here.
You wouldn't let us get too high after Tuesday. We're not going to get too low after this either.
No, not at all. Not at all. There was a lot of things, I know, but there was a lot of things we did well. We just didn't do the real things in the 2 boxes. In between, we won a lot of personal battles, we had a lot of the play, but we just didn't create those moments, and we just didn't defend those 2 moments in our box. And that really is what the game consisted of.
Just finally from me, Gaffer, the Cheltenham trip, effectively a 2-day away trip for the boys. That'll be a good opportunity to get them together again.
Absolutely. We'll obviously between now and then we'll recover. We'll analyse the opposition and we'll go again. And we have to go there and try and win the game.